So you want to make some money selling on eBay? Well, I'm here to show you how to do that step by step. First of all, you got to find an item to sell. You can go on Facebook Marketplace, Goodwill, Savers, local thrift sales, or any other local thrift shop around you. You can even find some good stuff to sell that's on clearance racks at regular stores like Walmart and Target. I found this lot of 4 Game Boys on Facebook Marketplace for $25. That meant each Game Boy was only about $6.25. Now there were 2 reasons I knew to buy these Game Boys. First of all, I had been shopping for Game Boys in the past and knew that they were expensive. Second, I went on eBay and looked up the current prices by looking at sold listings. I found one on there for $34, which showed me that this was a good item to buy. In case you don't know how to find items that are sold, you just go on eBay, you search up the item's name, and then once you have it searched, you go up to the button Filter in the top right corner, and then you scroll down and you check the mark completed or sold listings. I do look at completed listings because they show you things that haven't sold, so you kind of understand how much of it's out there and not selling. But when we go on here, we can see that they're selling for, there's the one for $34, and they're going for a pretty good price. So you can keep scrolling through here, and so since I'd seen this, I actually ended up buying the Game Boys, and so now I need to list it. So the easiest way to list the item is to find another one that is previously sold or even is currently listed. And then once you're on there, you hit the button Sell One Like This, and that will automatically update the item details and the title right onto your listing, so you can save a bunch of time. Once you're on the listing page, you're going to want to add some photos to your listing. Now to take a good photo, you want to choose an area with good lighting that doesn't put too much glare on the item, but also lightens it up enough that it's visible. You're also going to want to choose a plain background. I chose this blanket on my bed because it's a nice solid tan color. Now once you've chosen your good area to take a photo, you're going to want to take a photo of every angle of the item, especially with these used items, so that the buyer knows exactly what condition the item is in. Once you take your photos, you may see it take some time to upload. It's alright, you can keep working the rest of your listing and the photos will upload themselves. The next part of your listing to work on is the title. Now this title was copied from the listing that I selected Sell Similar on. But I'm going to change up the words a little bit so that the buyers know that it's a different listing and so they can get some more specifics about my listing. I like to include things about the condition of the item, the color of the item, the year it was produced, different ideas like that. Anything you think the buyer would like to see when they're searching, you should put in your title. Specific details of your item are already loaded from the item you selected Sell Similar for, so you shouldn't need to change these. The next part of your item is the description. This is where the buyers go to get more details of your item. eBay has this new feature where they create the description for you. And if the description looks good and you have no major flaws that you need to include in your description, you can leave it just how it is. For pricing, you can choose auction style or buy it now style. I like to use buy it now style, and I make my price be just below what other similar items have been selling for. The next option is the shipping. You can either do free shipping or charge a buyer for shipping. In order to put in the dimensions of the product, you should pack it up like you're about to ship it out, and then weigh it and check the sizes. Then you'll have your shipping size. And now you can see our entire listing is done and ready to be posted. Usually after you list an item, you'll get an advertisement looking like this. Easy pricing is an option where eBay will decrease the price of your item by 5% every 5 days. I have never personally done this because I like to be active with my listings and change the price according to how I feel it should be changed. A lot of items will still sell for a high price and they don't need to be dropped 5% every 5 days. Other items may need to be dropped more often, and that's up to you to keep track of and drop those when you want to. But if you plan on just leaving your item sit for a while and you really don't care about getting a high price for it, you can turn on eBay pricing, and it's a nice option to get your price to decrease until it sells. After easy pricing, you may see an advertisement for boosting or promoting your item. Now what promoting does is put your item at the top of search results. So if you're ever shopping on eBay and notice that some items are up high and they say sponsored on them, those items are boosted. So if you want your item to sell a little bit quicker, you can boost it and they'll put it up on top. But as a result of this, eBay will charge you higher fees for that item and you won't make as much profit. So I personally have never boosted an item, but it may be a good option if you have a lot of competition and you want your item to stand out. Once you have your item listed, it's just a matter of time before it sells. You want to keep checking back in your item to see how many viewers and watchers it has. Right below the listing, you should see the number of viewers and watchers. By looking at this number, you can tell how many people are looking at your item, and you can decide if maybe you should lower your price a little bit. If you have a lot of viewers but still not selling, it may be time to lower that price because people like it, they just don't want to pay the price. If you have offers enabled in your listing, then people are allowed to offer you a lower amount for your item. I like to do this because it helps my items sell quicker, and even if I have my items priced a little too high, then the buyers can come along and offer me a lower price and I can get them sold. On my red Game Boy, I received an offer of around $20, and this was just a little lower than I wanted, and it came in within the first about 3 to 4 hours after I listed the item, so I knew that I could get better offers. So I countered them back at $34. Surprisingly, someone actually came along and purchased the item for the full $35 before the person who offered me the $34 could purchase it. Now this can happen. Even though someone gives you an offer, the item is still out there and many other people can make offers on it or purchase it. So I ended up selling this Game Boy for $35. Once it's sold, it's time to ship the item. To ship it, you're first going to want to find a good box. Now, I like to keep any boxes I receive from shipments, so whenever my family gets an item from Amazon or any company, they give me the box. And then with those boxes, you can take the old shipping labels off and store them under a desk or in a closet and use them for future shipments. So I found this box, and it fit my Game Boy pretty well. It was actually a little bigger than I wanted, but it was the best fitting one that I had on hand. So once you find your box, you're going to want to grab some bubble wrap. You can get this bubble wrap in big rolls from Amazon. This roll is only about $10, and I believe it has 40 feet of bubble wrap. Now, the nice thing about this bubble wrap is it's perforated every 12 inches. That means it's easy to tear the bubble wrap and get the correct measurements. If you don't have the perforated version, you'll need to use a knife or scissors to cut the right size, which can get a little tiring after cutting many different pieces. It's much easier just to have the perforated version and have those easy tears. You'll want to wrap your item very well in the bubble wrap so it's protected on all edges. Now with this bubble wrap, I was finding that the pieces were kind of pushing out and it wasn't really wrapping perfectly. So I decided to use some masking tape to hold it all together and keep it in one piece. Other times you may not need to do this, especially if you have a more square object that the bubble wrap fits better. But for this item, I decided to use tape. I taped it up well all around all the edges so all stick together. I'm going to put a few more pieces around it just to keep it really well secured. Once you have the item secured in the bubble wrap, you'll want to place it in your box. Now as you can see, this bubble wrapped item is still way too small for the box. If I were to seal the box up like it is, the item would be bouncing all around inside there. And with the thick bubble wrap, it would probably be fine, but I still should put some extra cotton on the edges to keep it a little more secure. This is where I use these large air bubbles. And these are very common. You can find these in a whole bunch of different shipments. Most Amazon shipments use this type of pattern. And so it's easy to get these. I have a full bag of them under my desk, and I just grab a few of them, which I use 4 for this one, and one on top. And that just puts the edges around so that when you shake the box, you can feel that the item inside is not moving around at all. It's very secure and will be safe when it's shipped across the country. Once you have the box all set up with the bubble wrap and bubble pockets inside, you want to tape the box closed. Now since this box had some pressure from the pockets of air inside, I had to use an extra piece of tape just to hold down the flaps first before I put the full piece of tape across it. But once I had that down, I was able to grab the tape gun, which you can purchase this tape from eBay for about $10, including the dispenser, and it has 4 rolls, so it's very cheap tape. Definitely get the off-brand stuff from eBay or Amazon. Don't pay the extra for the 3M heavy duty. 3M is nice, but this stuff gets the job done just as well, and it's much cheaper, and you don't have to worry about using the tape too excessively. So as you can tell, I'm taping all around this box to make sure it's super secure and nothing's going to fall out on the trip. Now when you reuse boxes, some of them may have brand names on them or different labels or markings. This box had vetted cost and a few barcodes and then some package details on it. So you need to scribble over all of these with a black Sharpie marker just so that the post office isn't confused about the contents of the item and so that the buyer's not confused about the contents of the item. You also want to be especially careful to scribble over any markings that say things like fragile, biohazard, flammable, any of those, just so that no one is confused about what's inside the package. Once you have your item all packed up and ready to ship out, you need to get a final weight using a digital scale. On this one, you can see my item is 9.7 ounces. So you round up and that's 10 ounces. You also want to get to the outer dimensions of your product using a ruler or a tape measure. I use a tape measure and got the dimensions. Write these down somewhere so you don't forget what they are. Once you have the final weight and dimensions of your package, you'll want to go back onto your eBay app or desktop and hit the button that says Print Shipping Label. Once you click on this button, you should see a page come up that shows you various options for the carrier and service, and then where you can input your package info. Now in the listing, you should have had a rough weight of your item, so you should know what service you'll be using, and that's important because then the buyer knows how their item is going to be shipped to them. If your item is under 16 ounces, you can ship it as first class. This is the cheapest option and one of the best options, so if you have an item under 16 ounces, definitely select first class. If your item is over 16 ounces, you'll need to use priority or parcel select. Now, this is definitely something you should have specified in your listing before the buyer buys it, because parcel select could take up to 9 days to get the item to the person. However, parcel select is much cheaper. So if you put originally in your listing that parcel select is what will be used, then it's a cheaper way to ship the larger items. Since my package was only 10 ounces, I chose to ship it as a first class package. You can see with these details, my postage cost came out to $5.40, but since I'm shipping through eBay, I got a discount that takes off $1.40, which gave me my final shipping cost of $4 for my package. Once you purchase your shipping label, you can print it off and then tape it to your package. You want to make sure not to tape over any barcodes. You can tape over the things like the address or the name, but don't tape over any barcodes as it messes with the postal office's scanners. You also want to make sure that you put your label on a relatively flat surface so that their scanners can scan it. Don't put it on something that's really rough or curved where it's tougher to scan. Now I sold my item and got it shipped out, I want to show you how to calculate my profit. Now PayPal takes fees from your transactions of 30 cents plus 2.9%. eBay takes fees at 10%. So in order to account for that, you can create an equation that looks like this. Profit equals whatever you sold the item for times 0.871 minus 30 cents minus whatever shipping cost you minus what it cost to buy the item. So when you plug that in for my case with my red Game Boy, my profit equaled the $35 that I sold the item for times 0.871 minus 30 cents minus $4 which I paid for shipping minus the $6.25 which I paid for the Game Boy on Facebook Marketplace. That left me with a profit of $19.94. So it was a pretty good amount of money. For how much work I put in, the item sold in under a day, and I simply went, picked up the Game Boy, plus many others, and brought it home, listed it, and then shipped it. Pretty easy $20. I want to leave you all with one tip. List daily. Now, there's this weird phenomenon in the eBay that even if you have like 30 items listed for the past 2 months, they may not sell. Like, you might sell one once a week. There might be an item that goes, but you're really not going to have those big sales. As soon as you start listing more items, you're going to see your sales just start increasing like crazy. It's very weird. I've had items where currently I believe I have 37 items listed, and I'll go weeks on end with no sales. But as soon as I list 2 or 3 more items, then I'll have those original items that have been sitting there for the past 2 to 3 weeks just start selling. It's very weird, but many believe it has something to do with eBay seeing that you're an active seller and they promote your listings up on the search results, which causes them to be sold quicker. So just remember that. Keep listing your items every day. Even if you just have one item to list, put it on there and you should see your sales increase. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you guys all learned something about how to list on eBay. It's a really enjoyable little side job with your own hours. If you want to check out my eBay store, it's Benjamin Lima _3. You can see it right here. And if you just type that into the eBay search bar and click search for user, you can see my account on there, see the things I have listed, and kind of compare, just see how I list my items. That should give you some more examples on how to list. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Good luck out there. If you have any questions, just throw them in the comments. I'll try to respond to as many as possible. Alright, thank you, and I hope you guys sell a lot.